Okay. Um, all right. So tonight I wanted to talk about posting with purpose, and also following some sort of posting schedule. Now, before everybody starts like rethinking what they're doing, I want everybody to realize that everything that anybody gives you in this business, it doesn't mean that you have to go and implement whatever it is that you're learning, especially if what you're doing is already working for you. For instance, if I had heard about a posting schedule even a few months ago, I wouldn't have even thought of it. Like I wouldn't even have wanted to hear about it. Like it just wasn't something that I felt I needed at that time. I've never ever even, it hasn't even occurred to me to really look at a posting type of schedule. I'm just going to mute everybody. So if what you're doing is working, if the content you're posting is working, and the way that you sort of go about your day with this business is working, don't feel like now all of a sudden you have to develop a little schedule for posting. That's not what this call is for. But if you are feeling at all overwhelmed with the business and the whole sharing on social media and posting and staying consistent with that, I hope that this will help you a little bit. And the reason why I sort of started doing this, and that really what triggered was the national wake up call from, it's probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago now, at least, like maybe even a month or so ago. It was Megan, somebody, and she talked about a posting schedule in the call, and I loved it. The way it flowed, I thought it made so much sense. And at that time when I was listening, I was feeling kind of overwhelmed in the business. And what was overwhelming me, I've always been one of those people who can really like take a step back and be like, okay, what is stressing me out right now? Like what specifically is making me snap at my kids and making me turn into like this crazy bitch, basically? Like what is it that's causing me this anxiety? And I kept doing that, and it was always coming back to the fact of posting and the thought of, I don't even know what I'm going to post tonight. Like that might sound really silly to some of you, but that was the thing that was stressing me out. Or doing my workout and thinking, holy shit, what am I going to post about after this workout? And then I would like half-ass do a workout, and then my kids are wanting breakfast, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm going to post this morning. Like I have nothing. And then same thing, the evening would creep around. I'm like, crap, I have nothing at all. And it was not a good feeling. I did not enjoy that feeling, and I wasn't enjoying the business as much as I should be, because I was stressing about something kind of silly to be stressing about, but also something really important. Because of course, if we are not showing up on social media and if we are not giving good content, then we're not really doing our job as a coach, and we're not going to move our business forward. So I knew that I needed to sort of evaluate what was going on in my life and how I could course correct and make it so that I wasn't stressing about something that I didn't have to stress about. So when I heard this national wake up call, I was like, yes. And I listened to it a whole bunch of times and wrote out what she was saying and sort of tweaked it to make it my own and make it work for me. So I'm going to share that with you guys. But first I want to just talk about some other things sort of leading into that. So I don't know, like, can you guys like wave your hand if you feel like that at all? Like, does that stress you out a bit? So, okay, so it's a common thing. So that's good, because I think it's maybe not something that we talk about. We tell you guys to share your journey and share your personal development and share this, share that. But we never really address the fact that it can be a source of stress, and that might be why people then aren't consistent, is because it's just too overwhelming and like, I have nothing to post tonight, so you just don't post. Or you post something really lame, and that's almost worse than not posting. Okay, so How I come up with my content, because when I put content out there, it's always quality content. I have always been that person that um, maybe didn't post as much as like some of the top coaches. I'm not posting 3 to 5 times a day on my social media. I've never been that person. But I always made a point to post really good stuff. Even when I first started as a coach, I was only posting once a day for the longest time because that is what worked for me. That is what I could handle. And that one post a day was always really good. It wasn't sort of fluff. It was always about me and my story and my journey. Because if I had one chance that day to put something out there, I wanted to really connect with people more than anything. I just wanted to connect with people. Sorry, I'm just going to mute more people here. Okay, so how I come up with my content, and this might be sort of repetitive for some of you, but personal development, that is like, if you're having a hard time coming up with posts, it's probably because you're not reading personal development. Because I promise you, if you are reading personal development every single day, there's no reason why you can't come up with some content. At least one good post a day should always come from your personal development. So in the morning when I get up, I'm always consistent with getting up at 5 a.m. It's very rare that I wouldn't get up. I get up, I read my personal development, and as I'm reading, I'm highlighting. And then as soon as I am done reading, I then get out my laptop and I have, like, you can use a document, you can use a notebook, you can use whatever you want. But I basically then go back, look at what I read that morning, and whatever I've highlighted, I literally type it into a document that I have. I'll type the quote that I highlighted, I'll type out the paragraph, or I'll just type out the general idea of it. But I do that for everything that I read that morning that really stood out in my head. Sometimes it's only one thing. Other times it's like 6 or 7, 8 different points that I've come up with. So right there is a bunch of posts that I can use like for the next however long, right? So I will often use one of those points for my first morning post. So it'll be for after my workout. So what I do right then is I figure out what is going to be my first post of the day from what I read. Or maybe it was something that I read yesterday that I know I want to use. So I create my post right then. Right first thing in the morning, I haven't even done my workout. My day hasn't even hardly started, but I create my first post. I get it all done. I put my little emojis in there, everything. So all I need to do then is take a picture after my workout. So that alleviated so much just distraction when I was working out, instead of thinking like, oh God, what am I gonna, like, how can I make this workout motivational? And I don't know about you guys, when those thoughts are going through my head, I'm not even really working out anymore. I'm like stopping and like trying to, like, then looking at my clock, I'm like, the kids are going to be up. I got to get them to school. I don't even have time to finish this workout because I don't even have a stupid post ready. So it was just not a good situation I was in. So if I could get my post created before I even did that workout, I could just enjoy the workout. All I needed to do was take a picture and then post. That was it. The other thing that I would do after I created that first morning post, I'm still sitting there with my personal development and my laptop, is I create my evening post right then and there too. And this only takes maybe 10 or 15 minutes in the morning, and I get that evening post done, created, and I save it however you want to do it, in a doc, whatever. I have like a little group on Facebook that I'm the only member in, so it's like a little secret group. So I store it in there. So I create my evening post already. So my post that I did tonight, I actually did that this morning. I made that this morning. And all I needed to do was just find a picture somehow today, or find an old picture on my phone that was it. So I didn't have to stress tonight about what I was going to be posting. I already had something really good created. And most times we are at our best in the morning, even though you might think you're not a morning person or whatever, you're groggy in the morning, but our brains work the best first thing in the morning. So if you can take a little bit of time and create your content first thing and get it out of the way, it's going to be better content than maybe if you were waiting and you did it when you were stressed, or you did it when the kids are around you, or while you're on a call right now, like whatever the case may be, right? So if you can get that done and out of the way, I'm telling you, it'll feel so much better. For me anyways. Everybody's different, right? Like this isn't going to work for everybody, but I'm just sharing the changes that I have made and how it's really made a really big difference in just my day-to-day. Another thing that I do to always have posts on hand. Like I always want to have ideas that I can grab from really quickly. So I'm not sitting here thinking like creating brand new content all the time. I have this group, on Facebook that's like, when I say a group, I just mean like I'm the only member in it. So it's like a template, basically. You can use anything, but I have stuff stored in there that I've had in there for like even a year. If I scroll to the very bottom of it, every time you are doing a little scroll on Facebook and you see something inspiring, you see a quote you like, you see a post that somebody else on the team has done, take it and save it. Okay? If you see something that a top coach has done that you really relate to, take it and save it. Now, what I'm going to say here is super important because I don't want anybody copying and pasting. Definitely don't do that. Whoever created that content put a lot of time and effort into it. So for you to just go and copy and paste it, it's not cool, right? Like it's not cool. It probably doesn't even feel good when you're doing it. And more than likely you're doing it because you didn't have time to create any content yourself. So hopefully all of this is going to help, not feel like you have to ever take anybody's content, because the thing is, it's not even going to sound like you. So when you see these ideas of other people's posts that really speak to you and you really like, make sure you take some time to revamp it. Change the words, change the emojis. Everybody use different emojis, right? Like I know there's some emojis that I always only use, and Michelle has some that she only uses, and we can't take each other's stuff, right? We can take each other's ideas, but we don't want to be copying and pasting. So just take some time to really revamp anything that you see. There's nothing wrong with getting ideas at all. I would be so happy for everybody to go and take ideas from what I've posted, but it has to sound like you. Because if you post it on your page and it doesn't sound like you, people that are watching you, they're going to feel it. They're going to sense that it's not your words. It's obvious. Like we've all done it, right? Like we've all sort of done a post that it was like, God, that wasn't even me. Like, what was I thinking? And it doesn't work. So just don't waste your time doing that. Really take some time and make it your own. So if you're doing that, if you're consistently sort of dumping these ideas into a document or something, you are always going to have an idea to grab from. So in the morning, like I said, all I need to do is go into this little document that I have, and I quickly grab 2 ideas out of there, because for me, I want to have a really decent morning post and I want to have a really decent evening post. And then the rest of the day, maybe I don't post at all, but if I'm going to, I can quickly take a little picture of my lunch or something funny the kids did or whatever the case may be. But if I can just get a good morning and evening post done, I feel really good about moving my business forward because I know I'm going to put out good content twice a day. Okay, so I think it's really easy for us to just sort of post anything. And you really want to think about quality over quantity. because we can just be like taking little selfies all day long and putting little one-liners out there. But if it's not offering any value, if you don't feel something when you put it out there, it's not really, it doesn't have a purpose to your viewers. You really have to think of yourself as a business owner, and that can be scary, especially if you're maybe just starting this business, because I know that's a term that really, and still kind of like freaks me out, like a business owner, like what? I didn't set up to like own a business. This is crazy, right? But essentially you are, and you have to look at your social media as if it's a business. So don't just put like shit out there. Like put good stuff out there. You are trying to touch people's lives. You are trying to inspire people. You want to be putting good stuff out there. People don't want to waste their time just seeing like just stuff that is not relevant. So make sure that you're not only taking the time to put good stuff out there, but it's stuff that people want to see, and it's something that you feel when you post it. You should feel something when you post it, and if you're not feeling anything when you post it, no one else is probably going to feel it either. So you want people to laugh when they read your stuff, or you want it to inspire them. You want it to motivate them. You want them to feel connected to you when they read it. You want to feel relatable to them when they read it. All those things, you want them to feel one of them when they see your stuff on Facebook. Because if they don't feel that, if they don't feel any of those things, they're going to stop watching you. They're just going to keep scrolling and never ever take the time to really read more of the content you're putting out there. They're going to unfollow you or block you or just ignore you or unfriend you, and you're not going to get anywhere with the people on social media. They're going to just scroll right on by you because it means nothing to them. So take a look at what you have been putting out there. Like even do, a few scrolls back over the last couple of days, and what kind of stuff are you putting out there? Are you inspiring someone? Are you motivating someone? Are you entertaining? Really take a look through your content and see if that's what you've been doing the last few days. Or are you just simply talking about yourself with no value, right? Because we all want to be talking about ourselves. That's part of our story. But are you just talking about yourself and it ends there? Like, I did my workout, I feel awesome. Or like, holy smokes, that was a tough one. I sweated a lot. Like, you have to put more into that. That's all fine, but there's got to be more to it than that. You have to touch somebody in that, whether it's humor or inspiration. And another thing too, which I sometimes have to stop myself from doing, is like, well, that sounds really bad, but you don't want to be like shaming anybody on social media either. Like, we don't want to put ourselves up on like a pedestal and we are health and fitness people and we are doing good in the world and we are changing our lives, and all the people that aren't, they suck and they should feel really bad about themselves for not doing what we're doing, and they could be better moms and better humans if they just did what we're doing. So it's easy to sort of get into that little mindset, because trust me, I get there sometimes, and I have to really pull back in my posts sometimes and be like, whoa, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad about themselves. Like, I talk a lot about the mom who maybe is sitting on her couch watching reality TV, because that was me. I don't want to shame that person at all, but I want to help motivate her and I want to help inspire her to maybe make some changes. So there's a difference between like reaching out and motivating someone in your content versus kind of shaming someone in your content. So are you posting something that's making you look really good and everybody else look really bad? Or are you trying to help those people to become better? And then everybody should have a look at their images. I mean, we talk about this all the time. Again, we are business owners. We want our social media, whatever platform you're using, to look good. And trust me, I'm like the last person that should ever be talking about this, because I recently just showed Michelle my very first selfie from when I started this business, and it's like laughable. I should show everybody. So you definitely evolve in this business as far as your pictures and what works and what doesn't work. But, you know, be just very cautious of the images you're putting out, and make sure that they do look presentable and appealing to the eye. Of course, the lighting, all those things. And you can go to YouTube and just really research like how to take a good picture. So if you're looking at your pictures and you're like, oh, they just don't look that good, like, and it's not because of you, like, it's not that I'm saying you need to look really good in your picture. It's just the surroundings need to look good. The lighting needs to look good. And another thing, look at your pictures. Are they all the same? Like, is everything on your social media sort of the same, but it's a different day, or maybe a different shirt? Like, we have to really change things up to keep it appealing to the eye. For people who are watching you every single day, that you don't want them to get bored by what they see. So really just take a look. If you're on Facebook and click on like your photos, and all you'll see is just all your photos right there, and just look, like, is it all the exact same sort of picture, pose, angle, or are there different stuff to keep that person engaged who's watching you? So, I mean, I had to do that, and I was like, oh gosh, wow, Megan, you got to change it up. You look the exact same in all your pictures. So just kind of just be aware of that. And definitely these are things you guys should all do tonight when you get off this call. Okay, so now I'm going to just share my schedule that I came up with. And again, please, if what you're doing is working, don't go and revamp everything. That's not what this is for, but maybe you can get some ideas from this. So I'm going to start with Monday. And I've been doing this for ever since that National Wake Up Call. It's been about 4 weeks since I've been doing this. And I like the flow that it has for me. I feel like it's been working really, really well, because I was often worried, am I posting too much about the business? Am I posting too much about my challenge groups, or not enough about the business? Or am I not doing enough call to action, so CTAs? Or am I doing way too many calls to action? Am I just sharing myself too much? Like, those were kind of things that were starting to go through my head, because I wasn't ever keeping track. There wasn't like a specific night I shared something, except for like Transformation Tuesdays. But all the other days of the week, it was just kind of a hot mess, and I was just throwing stuff on when I could and for no rhyme or reason, which is fine if it works for you. And it was working for me, but I find this is working a lot better. So Monday in the morning, it's a fitness post. Basically, all my morning posts are fitness posts with some motivation into it. I will try and talk about objections that people might have when it comes to health and fitness, and try to weave that into the morning post. But it always sort of has to do with me, but inspiring people. And that always comes from my personal development. Monday night is a coaching lifestyle post. So I put in quotations there, my story. So I want to just share part of my story on social media, because that is one thing that I felt like I wasn't doing enough. Every once in a while, I would do this like sort of long drawn out post sharing like my story, why I got started, sort of like an introduction post for anybody new to my page. But I found I wasn't doing that very often. I wasn't sharing my story consistently enough because I'm adding new people every day. So I wanted them to hear it more often than like every 3 months, which is what I was probably posting it. So Monday night is my story. So just, if you haven't created your story yet, it means you need to go into Coach Basics, and it's like the first or second lesson, I think, in Coach Basics, and create your story. And basically every Monday night, take a little chunk of your story and create a post out of it. No call to action, just simply a nice post about your story. Tuesday morning, same thing. It is a fitness post, health and fitness post with motivation in it. Tuesday night, it's a transformation post. For me, I try to stay away from the sort of stock imaged transformation posts. I think that they look sort of stock imaged, and I don't know the person. I don't know the person from a hill of beans. I want to share somebody who I know. And if you are brand new and you're like, well, I don't have any challengers, well, you have a whole team right here who pretty much every single one of us has had a transformation. So share one of our transformation. If you go into the team page and type in like transformation, you will see a bunch of posts populate that all have our transformations on them. So you can use those. I think that it just makes it more, like appealing for people that are watching when you can actually say, this is someone from my team. This is one of my challengers. This is one of my coaches. It just means a lot more than this, like, this is Debbie. Debbie lost 150 pounds. Well, I don't even know who Debbie is, so I have no connection with that. And in my post, that's hard for me to even connect with this random person that has the transformation. So there's no reason why you can't even go to Team Rise Up. We're part of their team. Use a transformation from their team. So there's like thousands of transformations we can all get our hands on. And ask your challengers. If you've been running challenge groups for a while, hopefully you have challengers that are having results, right? So talk to them, ask them if they wouldn't mind if you use their transformation photo. I do it all the time. Anytime someone comes to me and says like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, I'm down 5 pounds or whatever the case may be, I always say, do you mind if I use this on my page? It's just too good not to share. And I've never had anybody say they don't want me to share. Like sometimes they're like, yeah, but don't tag me. But those, oh, did someone?
Yeah, I was just going to wait till you're finished. I had a question.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what else I was going to say, but I think if you can use someone that you know, it is going to just be much more powerful. Go ahead.
Okay, so you mentioned just going in there and pulling out one of our transformations that we have on the team. So ask permission first? Or just throw it out there?
I think that if anybody in our team page has put that out there, you can go ahead and use it. I always message them because I want a little bit more detail. Like I want to hear just a little bit more like, okay, what was the time frame that you lost this? Or I just want some more information so I could create a really good post with it. But yeah, those are up for grabs in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so then Wednesday morning is my day that I always plan to go live. And I am not perfect at this because it still is like the thing that scares me so much going live. But I really, really try to make that the morning that I go live about something, whether it's what I read in personal development or a takeaway from my life or a nutrition tip, anything. But that's Wednesday morning, I do a go live. I didn't do one yesterday. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not perfect. I didn't do it. And I felt guilty all day about it because it was on my schedule. And then Wednesday night is a call to action. So whether it's I am really looking for challengers to fill my challenge group or I'm looking for coaches to fill my team, it is one of those. Or I guess if you're trying to do a free group right now. But Wednesday night, I do a call to action. So Thursday morning, again, it's me and my workout and my life and motivation. And Thursday night, because Thursday is like payday, Thursday's rank advancement day, I tie it all into coaching. So again, it's like another piece of my story. And if I can pull from payday, or if I can pull from a rank advancement on my team or a rank advancement for myself, that becomes my post for Thursday night. Or just anything to do with the business and how my life has changed, or the old me versus the new me, all those components of my story, I put into a post for Thursday night. And then Friday night or Friday morning, again, me and my workout, motivation. And then Friday night is just an engagement post. So it's just something fun, a way to get people to comment and like and just participate in a post. So even like using the GIF, the GIF, describe your day today, or like any of those, like, what are you struggling with most when it comes to your health and fitness? And you give them little emoji things that they can pick. Just different things like that to get, it's an engagement post. That's the whole reason of it, is to get people to engage on the post, because it's going to bring them back to your page. And if these people come back to your page and start looking at what's been going on for the last of the week, they're going to see your coaching story. They're going to see a call to action. They're going to see a transformation. They're going to see more about your story. Plus, they're going to see all that motivation, your workout. So they're going to get a really good sense of you if they look back at what you've done through the last week, of who you are and what you have to offer. And then Saturday is sort of like reality TV day. So not a lot of heavy content. Like, I'm not like busting out amazing posts. It's just more my life with my kids, me drinking coffee, going about our day, always offering motivation and value and humor. But they're just definitely lighter posts, because people aren't probably on social media as much. They are, out and about with their family. So I'm not going to waste time on a really good post on Saturday night, for instance, when people are like out being social, unlike myself. So they're not going to see a really good post. So I don't want to waste a really good post on Saturday night, right? So it's more fun stuff. I take the pressure off myself and just sort of share my life. And then Sunday is a day to share life, a day in the life of a coach. So what do we do on Sundays as coaches? We meal prep. We plan for the week. We get our challengers ready to go for the week. Those are the things that we should be doing on Sunday. So those are the things I share. I always talk about creating my meal plan. You could even ask people, who wants to see my meal plan? Drop a comment below and I'll send it to you in your inbox. Or talk about meal prepping that you're doing, or, getting your challengers started for day 1 on Monday, all those sorts of things. Getting, a group of new coaches started next week in your new coach training. Those are things that you can talk about on Sunday. And then at Sunday night, you want to hit them again with a call to action. Okay, Sunday nights, of course, hopefully you all know by now, are the best times to do calls to action, because people are on their phone on Sunday nights. They have, like, if you're doing a call to action for a challenge group, they probably fell off the wagon on the weekend. They probably just came home from like a big family dinner. They probably had drinks. They didn't work out. They're feeling kind of crummy about themselves. And then you put out a call to action about either changing their life through coaching or a challenge group, and they are going to be more likely to see that post and go, oh my God, yes. Or they're heading to work on Monday to a job that they hate, and they're getting ready to start a work week where they're just like, ugh, I just want it to be Friday again. And they see your positivity and your offer, and they're like, oh my God, I've been watching this girl all week long. I'm going to message her. Okay, so I hope that gives you guys some ideas, and just how to sort of be consistent, but without it being too overwhelming with creating content. So I create all that content first thing in the morning in like 15 minutes, and it's done for the day. And I can't even tell you enough how less stressful I have felt every single day since I started doing this, because there is nothing worse than it being like right now and you haven't done a post for the evening yet. Okay, anybody have questions? Michelle, you got anything to add?
No, that was awesome. I do want to kind of repeat, if what you are doing is working, you don't need to go like start a whole new schedule. Because I sometimes find that these calls, what happens is I have coaches scrambling and they're like, okay, I need to change my system because Megan said this is, or Michelle said this. And no, that we are here to bring you sort of information to help you. But if you are not feeling panicked, if you're good to go with your schedule, or maybe you want to take a couple little tidbits from what Megan just said, but you don't have to revamp everything, because what happens then is you lose time. You lose your focus. You all of a sudden hardly post all weekend because you're trying to rethink a strategy or rethink a plan. So you don't have to go and revamp everything if what you're doing is working. But if things aren't working, so if you don't have comments on your posts, or you're feeling like a bitchy mom because you don't have things under control, or you're just all over the map, this is such a good suggestion to follow. I don't follow this. I have my own system, and I'll share that with you sometime. But, you know, we all have our different stuff. You have to kind of get into your groove. If I can make any suggestions with your posts, talk more about your people than you. So use the word you in your post more than you use the word I. Write that down. Use the word you more than you use the word I. If you are talking, you want to relate to your people. You want to ask your people questions. You want to get them commenting on your posts. Likes are fine. They're great. But you really want them to comment. You really want them to engage with you. And if all you're doing is talking about I worked out this morning. My workout was so hard. I did leg day. I ate potato chips. I put my kid to bed. Nobody gives a shit. They want you to ask them, do you guys ever struggle putting your kids to bed? Like, is bedtime a struggle at your house too? How do you handle bedtime? Or, oh, today is leg day, and leg day is a struggle for me. Is it a struggle for you too? What you're going to find if you use more yous, God, that is like such bad grammar. If you use you instead of I, they're going to answer you back, and you are going to find your tribe. Because if you are asking questions to them, so for me, tomorrow, I already have my post done. It's leg day. I hate my legs. Do you know how many people I connect with daily that hate their legs? Just because that's what I talk about. And I ask them, is that your struggle too? Do you hate your legs too? Like how can we help each other here? So get asking more questions in your post. And use the word, and lots of times, guys, because I'm very much into using the word I, like I will go reread my post and I'll be like, oh my God, I didn't even, like, I was just talking about myself. I was being Miss Bossy Pants all over the place, you know, trying to motivate these people, but I was being bossy. So I go back and I rethink it. And I say, no, I need to ask more questions. I have to change those I's to use and ask more questions to the person. And if you go to my page, you can see I get comments, and then I can message them. And it's relative. It makes sense. I can message them about what we were chatting about and engaging in that post. That's all I got.
Yeah, totally agree. Does anybody have any questions at all?
I do.
Yeah, Camille, what's up?
Sorry, I'm still struggling to talk. So I've been kind of following this too, and it's really helped me a lot. But I just have questions about time management, sort of related to this. So when you're writing both posts in the morning, when are you you have a like page and an ad. So when are you doing those type things, like sending your message to the people in your ad and doing your business stuff? Is it after your workout or?
Yeah. So, I mean, I have to be like, as we all are busy, I have to be really sort of focused on my minutes in those early hours. And so by like 6:15 a.m., I really need to be working out, or else it's not going to happen. So I'm keeping an eye on the clock. Like, I read my personal development. I do my posts right then, because if I don't get them done, then I'm really feeling like I'm screwed. If I have any sort of time in between when I need to start working out and when my posts are done, I will maybe start doing some quick little business things that I can do. But really, I don't touch any of my business building activities until my kids get off to school.
Okay.
Or like, for instance, tomorrow I'll be going to work. So it'll be my first break that I will start my business building activity. So either 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. when I get to my first break, that's when I'll do it then. So yeah, I don't do anything like that first thing in the morning, only because I can't. I just don't have enough time.
Right. Okay. That helps. So I think, like, for me, it's easier to go to your computer and start messaging people and doing all the business stuff, and then not getting the workout done, not getting the post done when that's kind of the really important stuff. And then the only other question I have, with your personal development that you're putting into your private group, are you dividing that stuff up into different posts as far as like the content, or is it all just going into one little clump?
No, I divide it like crazy. Like, I can get, like, this morning from what I read, I think I could probably create like 6 posts from what I read.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just going to mention I thought of this when you were talking about your story. It's so important for you guys to like write down your story, and your story is going to have so many different layers. Like, frick, I could sit here and talk to you for an hour about the shit that's gone down in 43 years, right? So that's my story, but you only take little snippets of it. Like, sometimes I read a post and I'm like, wow, that's like about 20 years worth of information there. Like, wow, you lost me in paragraph 1. So just take like one little thing. So for example, maybe I would talk about adoption. That would be my one little snippet for my story, whatever night that was. I forget what you said. That was Monday night, I think, on the schedule. So you just take a little tiny bit of your story and expand on it. And remember, posts don't have to be like paragraphs long all the time. Sometimes the most effective posts are like those 3-liners that just kind of give a snapshot. They don't have to be like this long paragraph. If you're watching me, I tend to get wordy. So don't take that as something you should follow necessarily. Like, there's a place for it, but sometimes I get wordy, and you might see and think it's wordy. I've actually knocked that down because I reread before I post it, and I take out all this garbage that really didn't need to be there. That's another thing. I know we can get in a hurry. And when I was working this, I was so bad for this. I would just type it really, really quick and just post it. Like, I wouldn't even reread it. Try to find the time to reread it, guys, because grammar, spelling, missing words, you are a business owner. It's important. It's really important. And you know what? It is not my strong suit. Like, there, and there, and you, and you. Like, I mix all that shit up all the time. So that's why I have to reread it to make sure that it looks professional and someone's not going to read it and think, like, who is this girl writing this? Like, this doesn't even make any sense. So it's important to reread your content before you put it out there.
Mm-hmm. And what you said
Michelle, something like underwear and underwear?
Yeah, exactly. I make all these mistakes all the time.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. Megan, just one quick, while I got your attention here. Okay, so has anything changed as far as what you're posting on your like page as opposed to your group, as opposed to your personal page? Like, has anything changed there, or are we still kind of doing the same?
Yeah, I still am putting like the same content from my support group onto my like page onto Instagram. I post more of my life on my personal page.
Right.
That's just me. Yeah.
Okay.
So I haven't really changed up a whole lot. We can probably even do another call like on that type of stuff too. But I like what Michelle said about your story, because even like, I'll use Camille for instance, because I know she won't mind me saying this, but she'll often like send me her posts and be like, will you just read this? Is this good? And I'll sometimes say to her, you know what, take out this bottom part, because I think that's a whole other post. And you don't want to like use all your good stuff in one post, right? Like, you want to make sure that you're saving some stuff for later on in the week. So pull out what you need. I had to do that tonight for my post because I started going off in a whole other direction. I was like, what the hell? No. Reel it back in. And I'm the same way. I can get really lengthy. I should have a blog. I would love to have a blog. But the shorter posts can be just as effective as long as they have meaning. So make sure it has some meaning in it. But short posts are like probably somewhat more effective because people truthfully aren't reading the long drawn out posts the way we think they are. So yeah. Anybody else? We're good? Okay. Well, good night, everybody. I hope that was helpful.
Good night, guys. Happy Thursday.
Bye.